feel something from this place, this old town, the old theater, a moment in time where things were done right, things were done for a reason more than just quick, immediate gratification. They were done well. How do you capture it? I don't know. It's just something more. It's not disposable.
And this is the projection booth. And we have the 35 millimeter right here we have on Muppets Most Wanted. Very soon we'll have to convert to digital, but until then we're still showing them and still enjoying, having actual film.
My favorite movie of all time is Cinema Paradiso.
Alfredo! Chase!
It's about a small town in Italy, and it takes you through many years of history through this tiny movie theater. And what it really highlights is how this little theater was the social hub for the town. How people would come in, they look forward to it, they would bring their popcorn, they would bring their families. And I've always felt our People's Theater reminds me so much of Cinema Paradiso.
It's a place of memories, it's a place of excitement. If it were to close, I think it would leave a hole in our soul, basically. Honokaa is the largest wood-constructed plantation town in all of Hawaii that's still standing. There were actually 3 theaters at one point, but what we now call the People's Theater was the star of the town.
Well, we are the last theater in the Hawaiian Islands that is projecting 35 millimeter film.
One of the problems with the film industry is that the films have to come from pretty far. The last guy to fix our projector, Mike Miller, he kind of comes and volunteers to fix our projectors because he likes us and that we're still going. And this is a quote from him. He said, "Yeah, Honokaa, not too far from nowhere. Even further from nowhere is Honokaa, that's for sure."
I suppose you could look at it either that Honokaa is in the middle of nowhere or it's in the middle of everywhere. Waipio Valley, the home of the ancient Hawaiian civilization, is down the road about 9 miles.
I think there is a link between one of the most precious natural resources we have on the island, if not the most, which is Waipio Valley, and the theater.
You want popcorn? You can have it.
It's almost like a living organism, like it has all these memories trapped inside.
This is the light.
I can't imagine the memories that people would have that literally saw their first movie there or their first stage performance there, or perhaps performed themselves on stage.
You know, I'm a Kansas boy. I stumbled into Honokaa. Probably when they cut this.
Dr. Keeney first came to Honokaa in the 70s.
He was the doctor of this town for 30 years.
People kid him about having been a hippie doctor here in town.
One time, some outdoor painting needed to be done on a theater, and Dr. Keeney, who was many people's doctor in town here before he retired recently, was up on a ladder, and our greatest fear is that he would fall down and we wouldn't have a doctor for a while.
Right now, my daughter is sort of the head projectionist. She taught all of the other projectionists here.
So the theater previously had been supported by my father in his medical practice here in town. This past year, my dad retired. We've expanded our concessions and we're making more live events.
Are there floats, like the root beer float?
And it kind of keeps the energy of the place alive. It's not a non-profit, but it's a no profit. He saw it as the only thing happening in town, so if that shut down, that would definitely turn it into a ghost town in a way.
One of the things about the plantation lifestyle and theaters and all was the fact that they wanted to have entertainment for the plantation workers.
The theater was an important part of our life because that's the only entertainment that we had in town.
The entire town would all see the same show and all be connected over, the same medium.
Okay, well, sometimes when we went to the show, you may notice something running across your feet.
I mean, there's rats running around, and I think I've seen maybe one rat there, but...
If that happened somewhere else other than Honokaa, there'd be more screams and laughter.
In New York, it would empty the theater.
Really?
This year marks the 20th year since the plantation closed. People still talk about that with a lot of emotion.
This all used to be sugarcane. It's changed a lot after the sugar plantation went down. Sugar plantation went bankrupt in the early 90s. The road behind me here, as you can see now, it's also partly grown over with grass. This is where the school bus used to go, take all the kids to school.
This, of course, generated the loss of jobs. I know of about 500 that were lost just in our town.
When the plantation closed, the town came like a ghost town.
Every morning there's literally a convoy of people that are heading to the hotels to work in various service jobs. It's pulled the family apart in many ways. The parents have less time with their kids. The theater became very, very important in that movement to try to bring enrichment to the community because, again, it had been really hit.
It's a fixture because my daughters were little, and now they're grown. And I think if the theater changed, it wouldn't be,
Here in Honokaa, the cinema is actually a threatened occupation.
We have the issue with print availability. No longer are they making 35mm prints for a lot of the films.
I do understand that the theater probably needs to upgrade its projecting equipment. I don't know what's going on right now, if anything, in terms of trying to go digital, but I would imagine that's a thought and that would cost quite a lot of money. I'm not sure what kind of fundraising might happen, but perhaps there's some way the community could help with that because it's so important to our town.
That's a big investment. That's about $70,000 for our theater because it's a big old hall, and so we need a really strong projector. We're just going to keep pushing on every angle until we find a way to make it happen.
And we have to adapt. We have been, I'm afraid, left behind again. I think digital projection will allow us to be cost efficient.
I don't know how, but this got wound around. It shouldn't be like that.
I don't have that spot in my heart for 35mm film. It's not something I worked with directly. I was never a projectionist.
I think I'm more nostalgic than my father. I'm kind of holding on to the past more than he is, I guess. I don't know why that is. I was born and raised in this place, and it's something you can touch, it's something you can feel, it's a part of how the theater is operated for so long. I have no idea what digital is going to be like, and that it's pushing a button, but you never actually touch the film and never see the frames. What is this one? Oh, this one's The Disappearing Magician. One thing that I've noticed with a lot of the old things that I've uncovered here in the theater, like old slides or film strips, is that you have to have the machine to run them or see them. So it's kind of like discovering a lost history there when you put them on.